So I'm going to share my screen. Where are we at here, Dave?
Right. So I'm sharing your screen now.
Yeah, so I'll share this bad boy. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Where are we at here, Dave? So I'm sharing your screen now. Yeah, so I'll share this bad boy. 10 minutes. Make sure you mute Dave. So. That might have been me.
So, okay. I can't do it.
You what?
I can't do it. I can't share the link to all the platforms because my computer now is just the screen that you shared with me.
You can just X out of the screen. I'm sharing my screen, so you're good to go to switch it up.
I have to come back into the meeting. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, look at this.
That doesn't make any sense. You should be able to minimize it.
Nope.
You good?
Yeah, I think we're good. Live chat, gotcha. So there's 7 people staring at us right now, talking to us, trying to figure out how to use technology. Imagine that. It's great. Welcome. Welcome, 5 other people. It's nice to see you.
Okay. You seem to be working, Dave. So that's good.
Oh, it does seem to be working. That's good.
Yeah, I think we're good. Which is sweet. 3 minutes. I'm going to go grab a beer.
Sweet. I'm also going to go grab a beer.
All right.
Many have been the reasons we have met along the way. To close the chapter, split the difference. Things are the reasons used to say. Somehow you knew something I didn't. Kept them alive in the darkest hour. My mind got lost when my heart was in air. And that's when I felt your power. Your power is your patience. Your power is truth. When you lay it on me, it's nothing all I can do. It's a deeper kind of knowing. Known all along. Because I saw you in my dreams. Had a dream last night. Last night, last night. Had a dream last night. And it was all you in my this dream. I will never let you go. Had a dream last night, last night, last night. Had a dream last night. And it was all you in your mind. This dream, I would never let you go.
You ready, Dave?
Ready to go.
Do it.
Seems to be working. Hey, everybody out there on YouTube. Good evening.
Got to get your face up there nice and big. There we go.
Close. Hey, everybody.
Jan coming in here too.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
There he is.
Hey, buddy.
All right. Looks like we got some people watching.
Fantastic.
Everybody.
Awesome. He's here. Awesome. Night of Adventure 8.2. Dun, dun, dun.
Sweet. Let's go, man. Get fired up, Dave.
All right, let's do this. Wicked. Hello, everybody. First, I want to open up by recognizing that we are all in Nova Scotia on the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. This is an Indigenous country. We're on their land. I want to welcome you all to Night of Adventure 8.2. And tonight we are celebrating the Night of Adventure grant winners, which is really, really exciting for all of us involved. It really is an amazing thing. It really is. Having this thing start off 8 years ago as a platform for passionate people to share their stories with like-minded community. We have remained with those roots since the very beginning. And this really is all about sharing stories and building that community. And over the years, it has grown, but we've kept those roots strong. And it is time to breathe life into Night of Adventure and see if she can grow her own wings. And with that, it is very exciting to announce that we have built a website for Night of Adventure. You can go find it at nightofadventure.com. It is officially live and it is there. And with that, we are really excited to watch this baby of ours evolve over time. And with that, we created the grant as a way for other grassroots adventurers to access means to help their dreams come true. Because as seasoned vets, as ourselves are, we know how difficult it can be to find the resources, the cash money to help realize some of these dreams, because they certainly are not free. And accessing those funds that are available out there in the past has been very difficult, as I know from experience, which I'm going through again. So in order to make adventuring and big grand adventures more accessible to more people, we started the Night of Adventure grant 2 years ago. And this past season, we managed to fundraise and give out $2,300 to 3 specific groups of people who all went out and did fantastic things. And tonight we are celebrating those people for living the spirit of adventure. It's really, really nice to see. Through all that, you'll see on the website, and we'll put some links in the YouTube comments there so you can find the website more easily. We've also started a GoFundMe page. So any support that you can help with in coming up with some funding to give away at the next Night of Adventure, because we promise you that we will keep organizing these events, building the community and sharing the stories. And hopefully in 1 year's time from right now, we will be back right here doing another Night of Adventure grant special presentation. It's all very exciting. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back onto that point throughout the whole night. Also very important to say that today is indeed solstice. Yes, it is the shortest day of the year, which I think needs to be celebrated. In that from here on out for the next 6 months, every day is just going to get longer, longer, and longer. And as my old man would say, and I'm pretty sure he's watching right now, it is indeed one of the greatest days of the year because the boat show is only 6 weeks away. But, however, winter, it is raining out, but it is coming, I promise you. So a celebration of solstice, celebration of Night of Adventure grant winners. If you have any comments or answers through the night, answers to Chris?
Trivia. Yeah, we have some trivia questions. The Trail Shop has been awesome and donated 2 $50 gift cards, which you can use online. So if you win, I'll give you a code and you can spend the money right away or give it as a gift, which is pretty sweet. So thank you to the Trail Shop. And North Brewing has given away 2 4-packs. Yeah, there we go, representing. So we're going to do a couple trivia questions spliced in throughout the evening. And before we go to our next speaker, I just want to reiterate the point that Dave just made. Dave's been doing this for 8 years. It's a lot of work. And it sucks we can't do it in person right now and be chilling with everybody and handing around the old dirty camp bucket for donations. But here we are. We have a link instead that I put in the description that you can donate to. But Dave has grown this into something that now he's able to give back. Bringing together this community of people who we all just love talking about adventures, hearing other people's adventures. part of it's selfish reason. I know that's why you started this, just to, you know, build a community around you that have adventurous people in it, so you can do fun stuff. But you're now powering other people's adventures through what you've created. So I'm really proud of you, Dave, and I'm really proud to be part of this. And A for Adventure is proud to help you grow this in any way that you can. And, you know, we got your back and we love you. And thanks for doing this for everybody, because it's fun even in these crazy times.
Well, let's breathe some life into it, see if she can fly on her own.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And with the grant that we've developed over the last 2 years and are going to continue forward, we've made some subcategories within it. And one of those, which is dear to all of us, is the family grant. Family is one of the most important things in the world, and to encourage young people specifically to go outside and engage with the natural world really is what this is all about. We put out the call to young people last spring to submit some form of artwork, which would best represent their dreams of going into the outdoors. And we received all kinds of amazing submissions, from poems to drawings, pieces of art, family videos. We got it all. And it was fantastic. And we're going to do it again this year. And I look forward to seeing all the amazing applicants who apply. But we decided on one winner. And we're going to open this up by showing you the successful application, the successful applicant and his poem, which he recorded himself.
So should I let Seamus in?
We should let Seamus in.
All right, Seamus. Here he comes. Hopefully they're there waiting. There's Seamus.
Hey, Seamus, what's going on, man? But we decided on one winner, and we're going to open this up by showing you the successful application, the successful and his poem he recorded himself. Hey, Natalie, can you mute your YouTube?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Seamus, can we hear you?
Can you hear him? Yep.
Hey, Seamus, how you doing tonight,
I
buddy?
can hear you loud and clear.
Good.
What?
Nice to see you on here. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
Doing great, thank you. Very good. So actually, to tell you all the truth, Seamus and I do have a long-running history. I worked as a teacher 4 years ago now at Oyster Pond Academy out in Jador on the beautiful eastern shore of Nova Scotia. And when we saw his application come in and we saw how hard he worked on the poem, which he submitted, we just thought to ourselves, man, if there's any kid in the world who deserves to get a family trip together up in Cape Breton, this is the kid who deserves to win. Seamus, is it all right with you if we show everybody the poem that you submitted?
Yeah.
Great. Seamus, maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself. What grade are you in?
I'm in grade 7 at Oyster Pond Academy, and I really like to do stuff outside. Like I like to go fishing and hunting and kayaking. I really enjoy the outdoors because it allows me to feel really close to Mother Nature and to enjoy everything that's in it.
Wow.
I also have a YouTube channel called Caperboy Outdoors where I share my outdoors adventures.
Really? And you started that on your own, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Wow, cool, man. And what kind of stuff do you show on there? Like, what kind of stuff are you recording and putting onto your Caper Boys YouTube channel?
I post mostly about outdoors stuff that I do, like cool hikes that I go on or cool like places that I find out in the woods.
Cool. Do you have any videos on there of your forts that you build in the woods?
I have in the past, yep.
Cool. I know people are really big into bushcraft these days.
Yeah, I watch a lot of that on YouTube.
Do you? And are you still
Yeah.
very perfecting your skills in the art of bushcraft?
Yeah, I have a couple books about it that are teaching me some new techniques that I can use.
Okay, great. I just realized Chris gave me the go ahead here. You're not supposed to see any of that. Excuse me. I was supposed to be ready to go. Sorry, Seamus.
It's all right.
Here we go. Here's the winning submission.
We go past the bags and go with the flow. To get there, you need to cross the causeway. Marguerite is just down the Cabot Trail Highway. Down the river, you will see me and my tube going free. Tubing down the river, you might get a shiver. Lights intense, sounds like an adventure. Hope I don't knock my teeth in you dentures. Spend the day at Chimney Corner Beach, a beautiful Nova Scotia sunset just out of my reach. Nova Scotia in all its beauty, Cape Breton is my pirate booty. Marguerite.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Seamus, that was amazing. That was really good. Now, could you tell us, why did you pick Cape Breton as your dream destination?
Well, I picked Cape Breton as my destination because I looked through all the prizes very carefully, and I have never gone river tubing before or stayed in a yurt. So I chose that because I wanted to do some cool, like a different type of adventure, and also do some other stuff around the Shetty Camp area and in the Cabot Trail area.
Okay, and have you spent time up there in the past with your family?
Yeah, I have.
Now tell us, of all the things that you got to do up there in Cape Breton, what was your favorite part?
Probably doing the Skyline Trail and going river tubing, because when we went down the river, there was this one spot where it was like all nice and calm, but there were so many fish just swimming under our tubes and jumping. It was unreal. And there was this huge bald eagle that we saw and we got really close to when we were coming down the rapids on the river.
Are you a bit of a fisherman yourself, Seamus? I could see the glow in your eye.
Yeah, I really love fishing. I like going for smelt, bass, perch, and trout.
Cool. And then when you were in Cape Breton, you were tubing down the river. Was that with Live Life Intense?
Yeah, they dropped us off at their little spot up the river and we picked out a tube and we were pretty much off from there, and then we got picked up at a beach. And something funny that happened was that my sister wanted to take some pictures of like trees and stuff, and she had lost her camera bag super far up in the river. And then once we got to the bottom of the river, my sister and I were swimming and we found this fallen over tree with something really weird attached to it. And we picked it up and it was her lost camera bag that was lost way up in the river.
No way.
Yeah, it was really funny.
No, if it was a race, the camera bag would have won.
It probably did win.
So Seamus, you spend a lot of time in the outdoors, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I love every bit of it.
And this is great. I can just see all your enthusiasm through all of these photos that we put on here. And yeah, you guys didn't see anything. Seamus, this is really great. Thanks for coming on tonight and sharing with us.
Oh, no worries. It was my pleasure.
Do you want to tell maybe one last thing? Can you maybe share with everybody why they should go out into the outdoors?
You should go out into the outdoors because just being out there is experiences that you can't have in front of a TV screen, or just being out there will allow you to connect with your family and friends, and it just makes you relax and it makes you feel at peace with everything. Well
said.
Thank you.
Well said. Well, Seamus, keep up the good work, man, and keep going outside every opportunity you get. I look forward.
Thank you for allowing me to come.
Absolutely welcome. And we look forward to having you back on here maybe one day talking about one of your own adventures.
Yeah, maybe.
Never know. Look forward to that day, Seamus.
Yeah, me too. All right. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Thanks a lot, Seamus.
No
Good job, buddy.
problem.
You're awesome. Keep it up.
Yeah, you too. I subscribe to your channel.
Yay, Seamus, that's awesome.
Have a good one.
Your YouTube channel. I want to see that.
Yeah.
It's called Caper Boy Outdoors.
I'm going to check it out. As soon as this is over tonight, I promise you it's the first thing I'm going to do.
Cool. Thank you.
See you, buddy.
See you,
Have a
Seamus.
good one. Bye.
Oh, that was awesome.
Well, fellas, isn't that what it's all about?
Right
Yes.
there.
Doesn't that make your heart
man.
warm?
And so awesome too, Dave, that you made the connection with Seamus when you taught him. And that's like, to me, teachers right now are playing this extra amazing role of getting kids outside every day. And this is amazing. The silver linings of what has been otherwise a not so silver year.
Isn't it a beautiful thing to live in Nova Scotia sometimes?
Thank goodness. For those people who are not in Nova Scotia who might be watching, we'd love to have you here when we can.
Come on out. Yeah.
Sometime in
Safe place to be.
2024.
I'm trying to figure out the share screen thing, and I'm failing right now.
Okay.
Do you guys see my?
Yep.
You see it? Okay, so I'm doing things. I'm presenting. Do you see the question on the screen?
Ooh, great question.
It's a good question, isn't it? So type it into the comments, and I guess the first person who gets it gets a $50 gift card to the trail shop.
Drop
Okay.
those answers
knows
down
this?
into the
Pop those
YouTube.
answers in there, and let's give away some fun stuff.
It's Martok, isn't it?
Yeah, I wish.
I know we do. I love Martok. That's not a dig against Martok. I love Martok.
No, it's got to be
I'm excited
Wentworth.
to get
Wentworth's
Ian.
definitely higher than Martok.
Citadel Hill.
John Connolly. You know,
Oh, yeah, nice.
I wonder if John Googled it. I bet you he did, but that's okay. That's what Google's for.
Who Googled the fastest?
Yeah, who Googled it the fastest? So Whitehead has been said a few times. John Connolly first. And it's actually, sorry, White Hill, and it is White Hill. Which is kind of like in the middle of the park. I'm not sure if I've been here.
I don't think you have. I actually have never been there. Dave, have you been there?
I've never been there, but I'm planning on going there next week.
Right, you're gonna go there.
So it's
Yeah.
it seemed a little bit inaccessible.
And it's not
very
the distance that you
inaccessible.
expect it to be.
Yeah, I think it's a nice little flat plateau, judging by the topo map there like that. But yeah, 535 meters. John Connolly, I will get your contact info, or I know who you are, I think. It can only be one John Connolly, right?
I don't know, unless you're in Guysborough.
Yeah. So yeah, there's going to be 3 more questions, so stay tuned for more. The next one I want to talk about, Alexi Rodriguez's program that we supported this year. Alexi is, he's been in the adventure world for years as a paddling instructor, and he has his own business. Is it Mackenzie Tours? McKinnon, sorry, Mackenzie. I was looking at Mackenzie Mountain. I'm thinking mountains now. McKinnon kayaking up in Cape Breton and here in Halifax. And he decided that he wanted to do something about all of the things that were going on in the world in terms of representation. So he offered free paddling to BIPOC, people of color and Indigenous people, for the whole summer, which was such an amazing thing. So we felt very fortunate to be able to support his cause, because we always want to do as much as we can to help make sure that gap gets closed. There's Alexi coming out of the water like a boss.
A hero.
Yeah, such a sweet dude. And Jan, I know you know Alexi from years in the paddling community as well. And I know you want to say a few things about Alexi.
Look, I so deeply believe in this program. We all do. But Alexi in particular is just someone who lives and breathes the outdoors, and he leads from his heart. And not only are people getting out and experiencing the outdoors, but I know too the conversations that he would lead people through, and the wonderful benefit that just honestly just is such a wonderful thing. So we are super proud to support him, and we'll always be there to support him in whatever way we can. And he's a reminder of just, when something needs to get done, the best thing to do is to go and do it. And, he saw an opportunity here and just immediately went for it. And I'm just so proud of him, man. And I can't wait when COVID is not a thing and we can just give him a big hug, because just want him to know that we're thinking about him and we love him.
Yeah, well said. He's a strong kid. He's been through some, his own challenges in life as well, and giving back to the community as he's doing. You can see by these photos of these kids who are loving life, and these are, the best part about any of these kind of programs when you're introducing new people to a sport. It's exciting, and we've gotten to be a part of some amazing events as well, Jan, taking new Canadians camping and things like that, and seeing the look on on someone's face who's trying a new sport for the first time and falling in love with the outdoors in a way they didn't know was possible. There's not too many better joys in life. So, hats off to Alexi for this amazing program. Oh, I jumped the gun there with the next question. But yeah, shout out to you. So if you're looking to get out on the water, McKinnon Kayak Tours, do the old Google search. Give him some love.
He operates out of the city as well as Inverness. Yeah, it's pretty awesome stuff. So I am gonna do one more question right before we get on to Beth, I believe. So yeah, let's go back to the. All right, everybody, get ready out there. There is a trivia question.
Who can Google the fastest? John Connolly, can he hit two for two so far?
So this one is for 4-pack of North Brewing. So whoever gets it right in the comments, we will get tough one. And you can go pick it up. Yeah, this is a tough one. A famous Canadian author. This author is very conservation minded, very opinionated, he wanted his land. When he knew that when he passed, his 200 acres would just be sold to somebody, and he thought, what can I do to make sure that when I leave this world, this land will just be protected and it won't be sold to someone.
We got an answer.
We have an answer already?
Yeah, Al Joseph. Oh, and Louis Martin right afterward, but Al Joseph nailed it. Farley Mowat.
Nice.
Al from the family, am I right? Who remembers that from elementary school?
Funny Farley wasn't from elementary school.
This is proving how old we are.
Lost on the Barrens is from elementary school.
Yeah, I didn't read that one.
Oh. There we go. So
that one? That was a great book.
Al Joseph. I got to write this stuff down. Got too many prizes. I got to keep track.
Melissa Haley said Silver Donald Cameron. I used to live in Silver Donald Cameron's house, and I knew him very well. He's a great man. Was a great man, and continues somewhere out there in the universe to be a great
man. Okay, there we go. Got a couple prizes given away. 2 more to come.
Rolling.
Yeah, man. All right, where are we to here now? I'm going to let Beth in, and Beth is going to talk about the North Preston Surf School, which I'm stoked to hear more about and stoked to hear how it's going. I won't talk too much more about it. We'll just bring her on.
Bring on the Beth.
Bring on the Beth.
Hi, Beth.
There she is.
Audio is connecting.
Come on, audio. You can do it. Yeah.
There you are. Hey, Beth. Can you hear Beth?
Cannot hear Beth.
Cannot hear Beth. Oh, audio's connecting.
It's connecting again.
There we are.
Yay, we're here.
Woo!
Hey, buddy.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Super good.
Good. Nice to see your faces.
I know. It is good to see faces, isn't it?
Yeah. It feels a little bit social. It's nice.
Yeah, I know.
Decent socials, you know?
Cheers.
Yeah, me too. Rocking the back stairs actually tonight.
Oh, Jacob.
I know.
So we're stoked to have you here.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you here, Beth. I feel like
great.
So many cool things that you could be featured here every month.
Oh man, I feel like I just want to talk to you guys about so much stuff all the time. So this is a chance to do that, you know?
Definitely do that more for sure, because we all collectively are massive fans of so much of the work you do, but you've had a special project that's been near and dear to your heart that we're excited for you to tell people about.
Sure. I don't know where to start. Where should I start?
Well, I mean, give a little background of who Beth is.
Okay, sure. So I'm Nova Scotian salty girl. Grew up being around beaches and sailing, and discovered that a surfboard and being on a surfboard was very much like being on the ocean sailing, except that I could do it on my own terms whenever I wanted. And it was a lot less costly. So I found surfing, and it kind of fulfilled that same thing for me, which is intensely personal and it's very much my safe place. So surfing has always been, very, very much like a religion for me, like a place where I go. And then, you get in the flow of surfing, and it's also really, really fun. And the North Preston Surf Program came at a time in my life where I found myself in a position to be able to facilitate programming. And also when I guess became aware of the fact that like a lot of people around me were white, and that there were a lot of very specific reasons that was the case. And so once I started delving into that, it was like I couldn't go back. Like I couldn't unlearn. I couldn't not see what I was all of a sudden seeing. I just use the word unlearn though, which is like a big part of the whole thing for me, was like unlearning. Anyway, I could go on, but I won't. I'm going to follow this slide that I made. So we started in 2019, but actually like most of the synthesis for the idea and like the gathering of the people and the bringing together of the people that were needed to make the program happen started before that in 2018. So, once we started asking the question, like, why is there a lack of participation of people of color and BIPOC in surfing, we started coming up with and hearing all of these different reasons. And then the approach was very much about finding connection and finding relationship with people in the communities, and not just saying like, hey, we want to do a surf program. We've noticed that there aren't any Black surfers. It was more like, hey, do you want to be my friend? And then also, how do you feel about surfing? And do you want to go surfing? And then, so Lamia and we went surfing together, and I took her surfing, and that was a new experience for her. And then she took it back to her community and she told people about it. And then they were like, yeah, we want to surf. So then, it was born out of a group of people saying, we want this, versus like, us going in and giving them something they didn't necessarily miss in their lives. So then we also realized that a big part of the reason the participation of people of African descent in surfing was lower was because of swimming, because of this deep inherent multi-generational fear of the water. And so when we started there, we started with swimming lessons. And so we made it all ages so that adults could join and they could come and they could do swimming lessons. And then, as we started to grow, we reached out to communities, culture, and heritage. We accessed some funding. And then from there, we amassed like participants from different communities, volunteers. Basically, we brought together this entire community of people who were all interested in being part of this, I'm going to say movement, or like, social change, which was basically people surfing together who all look very different. So then, we had about 85% participants the first year. And then this past year in 2020, also interrupt me at any time. I think because there was not a lot going on and there weren't programs available, and particularly in the community of North Preston and probably other Black communities, there was really nothing going on. Like there were no organized programs for anybody. And so it really drew people to the beach. And we say 108 participants, but that's like a participant might come with 3 siblings, 2 parents, some grandparents, an auntie, or what have you. And so it ended up being like a lot more people than that, just coming to the beach for the first time and feeling welcome at the beach and feeling comfortable, and like they could come to the beach and see Black people at the beach, you know. And so what that created was this open space and this open community. And I think what I put in the slide was the impact was visible and tangible. And that relates to the fact that like any other day in the summer, you could go to the beach and you would kind of see more Black people there than you'd ever seen before. And I think that is a direct result of this program, which is really, really awesome. In conclusion, I think for me, you know, I took something surfing and I used it as, I guess, a vehicle for social change, or like a thing that I could do. Like, hey, I have these tools in front of me right now. I have this community. I have some expertise. I can share this. And I think, you know, if there's a takeaway for anybody looking at this, it's that like, whatever you have, whatever you do, whatever you feel passionate about, you can make friends who don't look like you or who aren't like you, and you can invite them to play with you. And when you play, you're free in a way to create and connect that you're not when you're doing anything else in your life. And so, you know, whatever your play is, whatever your platform is, like, I just think it's the most beautiful way to connect people and communities. So these are 3 of the, I'd say, most instrumental people in the making of North Preston Surf. There's so many, but this is also just a nice slide that Marie made at Mirror Image Media. So we've got Lamia on the left, who is my connection in North Preston, who is like a mobilizer of youth. Darrell in the middle, who's a surfer who's from Dartmouth, who grew up as a competitive swimmer. And then Rachel on the right, who hails from New Brunswick, but discovered surfing on a trip to Costa Rica and has been really dedicated to surfing and recently moved to Seaforth. So she just had a baby. So those are some of the peeps.
Beth, I wonder, you know, if you could share a story. Like, is there a moment that really ripped out for you throughout the last couple summers that, you know, really kind of maybe satisfied what vision you had for the program?
Sure. I mean, there's so many. I won't use a name, but I'll just say that like there is one woman in particular who was very afraid of the water, who didn't swim. She didn't like to go past her knees. And so she came out because her granddaughter was participating in the program. And the first week she got in the water up to her knees, and it was like, you know, we could see it on her, like just the worry for her own granddaughter, like watching her, you know, really tense. And then the next week she got in the water like a little further. And then we got her to put on a wetsuit. And then she went like holding somebody's hand, like clutching another human, like walked into the water and then like floated on her back. And then the next week she's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get on the surfboard. And one of the barriers for her was her hair, because she had this, you know, this hair that was really, it was a lot to maintain this hair. And so she put like this head wrap on. It was very elaborate, and it was, you know, there was anxiety there, but then, you know, not fully trusting the water yet. But she got on a surfboard and she caught a wave, and like her face is etched into my mind forever. Just like the feeling of joy. And the fact that she trusted me and us with that, you know, just meant so much to me. So that was a really great thing. And also I had these 3 little girls this summer who entered in the surf contest. So I had these 3 little girls from the program who then got their dad to sign them up for the first kids contest that ever happened at Martinique Beach. And so that was another thing. That was history. And these girls I had driven to the beach all summer. I'd go and pick them up and take them to the beach, and they show me their TikTok dances on the way to the beach, and they became little surfers, and then they went in a contest. So, you know, that's 2 stories, but those are some top favorites for sure. So.
What's next? What's 2021 going to look like for the programs you guys are offering?
Yeah, great question. So we have a bit of a gear library now. We have boards and a lot of wetsuits. And we're giving away the wetsuits. We've been doing that kind of all year. And then we're hoping to do kind of a bubble format, which will mean like smaller groups, so groups of 5. So, excuse me. Cheers. One of the barriers, I'll say, is transportation. So by making it 5 people, they can go in one car. We can fit enough gear for 5 people. We have enough gear. We have, 5 surfboards now. So we'll do some kind of structured program where people kind of learn in these smaller groups. And then we're hoping that because we're taking it down to a smaller number, we can do other kinds of things like ocean education, go to some different beaches, kind of expand some of the boundaries of last year with these smaller numbers. Yeah.
So before we let you go, Beth, and thank you, from all of us, it is so important. And, people should also know that, while this program is incredible, you wear a lot of hats in the surf community and in the outdoor community. All your work with the Surf Association as well, you might want to mention really quickly too.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm the president of SANS right now, which means that, I basically oversee this organization whose mandate is to promote like a sustainable, friendly, growing surf culture in Nova Scotia. And so we do all kinds of things. We run contests, of course. We do environmentally focused events, sustainability focused events. And then we've done like the Unamagi Surf Program, which is, I think 8 or 9 years running now up in Cape Breton with the 5 First Nations communities and youth from there. And we've recently become a provincial sport organization. And so that's brought with it like safe sport training and women's coaching opportunities and all of these different areas that we can advance in. And it's been really amazing. It's all volunteer. And so, that's hard. And a lot of people don't have time for that, but just the amazing people that I've met and the connections that I've made have been, just really, really satisfying and amazing. So.
Well, you're amazing, and it's always a pleasure to see you. And I hope when the opportunity presents itself that we can have a longer conversation, because I think there's lots of things that you do that we'd love to hear more about. Guys,
thanks, Jan.
Well, thank you, Beth, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you.
Yeah, awesome. And before we go, we are going to play a little video. Hopefully it works out. It's only about a minute long, from a paddle out that you guys organized last year, or that was organized. 2020 was a lot of things, as we all know, but it also brought about a lot of change in the way that I think everyone looked in the mirror a little bit harder and looked around and thought, what can we do to be better, and not be silent. And that was really evident with this program over the last couple of years. But can you introduce this video that we're going to play with the Black Lives Matter paddle out? Sure.
So with the murder of George Floyd, I think it sparked a whole new kind of motivation for our new surf community, which is North Preston Surf, to kind of take a stand, show people what we were doing together, and bring people together in a very peaceful yet very profound way. And so, yeah, this was like the quickest event we've ever organized. So we've spent weeks on events before, and we spent days on this one, and it was definitely drew the highest number of people and had the most sort of like global impact of anything we'd done to date. And to be there, I know you were there, was just, I don't know if we'll ever experience anything quite that significant again. It was really, really amazing.
It was very amazing. I felt very lucky to have been there and to have witnessed the power of that moment. But it was also beautifully captured by Megan and Marie at Mirror Image Media. I'm going to play the video, but can this video be seen anywhere? Just because I know it's probably not going to play perfectly here.
Yeah, it's on Vimeo. There's a Vimeo link, I think, that we could share easily.
Okay, so we'll share that. And if not, you can look up Mirror Image Media and find them on Vimeo. And without further ado, I'm going to play the video. Hopefully. Come on, technology. Right.
So today we stand here in solidarity against racism. For those that were, for those that are, and for those that will continually be racially oppressed. We sat at home in 2020 with clear vision, and we witnessed the system that lynched George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin, Ahmaud Arbery, and now Chantel Moore. So rise and stand and shout, but do anything but be silent. So as we paddle today, I ask you that with each stroke and with each breath, that you exhale whatever's been holding you back. It's time to take a stand and rise in solidarity. It's time to use your breath for those that no longer have the privilege to draw breath.
Ooh, man. When's Darrell gonna? When's he gonna be our prime minister?
Exactly. Yeah.
Pretty powerful.
It's only a matter of time.
He's got my vote.
He is a great guy. Takes beautiful photos too. If you're looking for some inspiration on Instagram, great photographer.
Yeah. Uses film, I think.
A lot of times, yeah. Recently married, just a guy going in the right direction. We should all do our best to follow along because he's going great places. It wouldn't be surprised at all if he was prime minister.
The kids call him Aquaman.
I get it. Well, Beth, thank you once again. We'll see you on the water very soon. Hopefully, in the meantime, keep being awesome, and we'll talk soon, eh?
Thanks so much, you guys. It's been really nice.
Thanks, Beth.
Thanks. Do I leave now?
Yeah, I can kick you out. Actually.
Yeah, Chris Booth.
Oh, you're kicking me out. Okay, perfect.
There's a
Okay.
remove button, so trapdoor or something. All right, so we move right along. We're actually like right on time-ish, which is amazing. I'm very impressed. Talked to Beth forever. She's an amazing woman.
She is. Can I point out quickly that I noticed in the comments here that Al Joseph got to meet Farley Moes, and he got the question.
Yeah, that's right.
great.
He did. Yeah.
At the dentist's office.
And bring him a copy of Canadian Geographic, which is very like
Awesome.
maybe with a Tim Hortons in hand. Like, can it get any more Canadian than that?
No, this is literally it's full circle here at Night of Adventure.
No, that's awesome. So we have some pretty. I am very excited to sit back and listen to these next two amazing individuals. I've been kind of like watching and following along myself personally over the last several months, and just amazement in another one of those scenarios. You have to look in the mirror and think, because we don't have to deal with a lot of the issues that some people have to deal with, and accessibility is a major one that doesn't get enough attention. And I'm super glad and amazed by these two individuals. And I'm just so grateful that they're on here today, and I'm so grateful that we heard them on Maritime Noon a couple like last week, I think, and they did an amazing job. They should have their own radio show. Yeah, they're incredible, and I know, Jan, you have a connection to them.
So Dee and I, we worked together at St. Mary's Boat Club. Dee must have been 12 years old because this was quite a while ago, and I'm a lot older than Dee. So she, you know, I can honestly, I very much remember her coming and just being an amazing instructor out of the gate. She's just one of these people. I think she's an old soul, Dee, who just, you know, has been a bright light in whatever she's done for as long as I've known her. And that's going back, geez, that's got to be almost 15 years now, pretty close, 12 if not. And it's been a joy of joys to watch her and Kevin doing what absolutely, there are conversations, and Chris and I, we try to shine our light on these conversations as often as we possibly can. But this is so critical. And it fills me with absolute pride to know that there are so many people in the community who can give this voice that is so needed. So without further ado, I'd love to welcome Dee and Kevin.
Should I let them in, Dave?
Yeah, let's let them in. Come on in. And it's interesting because I made the contact with them. I know Jan has history there with them too, but I reached out to them kind of like a cold call and just wanted to see if they'd be willing to come hang out with us for Night of Adventure tonight. And they willingly said yes.
Yeah.
Hey, you two.
They're connecting to audio.
Connecting.
Hey.
Connecting.
Hi, hello everyone.
Hey guys.
Happy winter solstice to you.
Same to you folks.
Now, Kevin and Dee, this is so wonderful to have you here. If you could so kindly give us a rundown about what you two are up to.
Yeah.
All right. We created a little slideshow. Is that okay if we run that while we're talking a bit?
Lay it on us.
All right.
All
Dee,
right.
go ahead, get her going.
Okay.
Down under Google, right? I get
Here
switched
we
slides.
go.
That.
We're in.
Boom. All right.
Yeah, there we are.
Yeah. There we are.
We're still rookies at this. First
Okay.
Google slide presentation.
That's all right though. She did a good job because I had nothing to do with this.
Are you trying to blame Dee already, Kevin?
No, I think I pre-approved it beforehand and it looks great. Way better than I could do.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for having us on tonight, guys. This is great. And shout out to Seamus. Seamus is my new hero, I really think. So, Seamus, I want to go on an adventure with you someday and we can share stories. So that's cool. Well, my name's Kevin and I live here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I've lived here since coming to university in 1995. I'm a person with a physical disability. I suffered a spinal cord injury at the age of 15. I'm paralyzed from the chest down, but I really kind of forged ahead and done some wonderful things in my life, and I've been very fortunate. And yeah, I keep moving forward. Love the outdoors. Grew up in the country, so it's in my blood.
Where'd you grow up, Kevin?
I grew up in a small town in the Annapolis Valley called Hansport.
Oh, Hansport's beautiful.
So just a small town. I lived on the outskirts of Hansport as well. So so it was even smaller. So yeah, and, just a small rural town.
Now tell us, give us the goods about you two meeting. Where's the point of connection here?
That's so funny because I literally just finished captioning our video for our YouTube channel where we tell that story. So do you want to go for it? Do you want me to go
I
for
want
it?
you to introduce yourself first.
Oh, okay.
Who are you?
Well, you're the celebrity, so
No, go ahead.
I'm just teasing. No, so my name is Dee Osmond, and I was born just outside of London in the United Kingdom, and my parents and I moved to Nova Scotia when I was 12, and I've called Halifax home ever since. And growing up, I loved the outdoors, and I always have. And my number one sport growing up, and I guess still is as an adult, is sailing. So I sailed competitively as a teenager, and then I also became a sailing instructor. And that's actually how I met Jan way back in the day. And then that's how Kevin and I met. So essentially, the long story short is I applied for a position as a sailing instructor with Sail Able, which is Halifax's disabled sailing program. And Kevin at that point was very involved with the organization. And we met, I guess, the day when we were getting the boats ready for the season. And then we became great friends. So we sailed together. So Kevin needs some physical assistance in the boat when racing. So as a coach, I would go in the boat and we entered different regattas and trained together a lot for a year and a half and became great friends. And then we started dating in the fall of 2014.
Amazing. Now, one step back from I want to hear more about what you guys are up to right now, but I want to know more about what it's like sailing together. And if you don't mind explaining a little bit how the mechanics of it all work.
All right. Well, I never sailed in my life before, but kind of the story goes in 2006, I had a chance to go to Vancouver for what's called the Mobility Cup, which is an annual sailing regatta for persons with disabilities. And there was no disabled sailing program here in Halifax. So I ventured out there and got my bum in a boat for the first time and learned how to race. But the boat that we use is called a Martin 16, and it's specially designed for persons with disabilities. So it's safe. It's can have a companion on board with you if you need one. But the cool thing about the boat is the assistive technology that allows it to be adaptable for so many individuals, including myself. So because of the paralysis I have of the chest down, not being able to move my hands, there's systems that are put on the boat where I can blow and suck on one straw to steer the boat and suck and blow on the other straw to sheet in and sheet out. And pretty much I can sail the boat independently.
No, that is absolutely amazing to me. And it's incredible.
I got to take Rick Mercer sailing.
That's right. Yeah. I remember that happening, actually.
Yeah, so that's a good link to put in there because that kind of shows it all, what it's all about if anyone's interested. And I'm still involved a bit with the organization. I actually bought my own Martin 16, which was a huge step in 2014. So that really opens a lot of opportunities for us to sail in many places throughout the province. So haven't got out of it this year because of COVID, but we're looking forward to getting back into it this summer and continuing our passion.
For sure.
Now you guys are doing it all. You're out, you're hiking, you're exploring, you are camping, you're doing really, I mean, like we take huge inspiration from following along with all your crazy adventures. But I mean, I guess like the perspective I think that's so needed is you're shining light on the fact that, many of the places that we sort of take advantage of don't necessarily hold to the same standard that, you guys need it to. I guess like in all your adventures, if you were to give Nova Scotia a grade, let's give it a grade, 1 out of 10, 10 being, it's doing pretty well. Where do you think things are right now in terms of accessibility?
I guess it depends what your definition of accessibility is. I think sometimes that can be jumbled in, but when it comes to physical accessibility, which is usually the barriers that Dee and I face when I face, so I can only really speak of those barriers. But I mean, how would you describe it, Dee, do you think?
It's hard because there are definitely a lot of subsets of it, but from like parks and recreation, I guess is a good approach to take. I definitely think things are getting there. We've been able to enjoy some beautiful experiences in Nova Scotia that I would say would not have been possible 5 years ago.
One of the examples is on the screen right now. You can see with the beach mat in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, and that's at Inverness Beach. So that's I call it the most accessible beach in all of the world that I've ever been in. And I've luckily been traveling a lot, and Dee and I were able to visit there this summer. And with those beach mats and chairs to allow you to go in the water, I mean, those things there's a nice picture of us exploring locally, floating in the water. So that's been awesome. And those parks, and we see more and more, Martin, different parks creating accessibility, and people have reached out to us over the last few months within government to ask our opinion. So that's what's really exciting, because we've been fighting for this for a long time to get first voice when it comes to making these decisions, people who use it, people who want to try these adventures. So we've had a lot of fun, not just doing adventures, but educating as well.
Absolutely. And to answer your question, Jan, I think sometimes the biggest barriers can be getting to the place to be able to enjoy what's out there. And transportation can be a huge barrier in Nova Scotia. We're a rural province, and it's very difficult or impossible to get the transportation necessary to make some of these adventures happen if you aren't able to get around in a vehicle of your own.
Yeah, that's fair. And now I guess too, guys, I mean, I'm seeing these pictures here and I love this one. But I guess too, a question I'd have is, I suppose summertime makes it a lot easier to get out and do these things. What about wintertime? What does that look like?
I would say, here, look at this.
There we go.
We were right on cue. It's like we planned this, John. We planned this. Well, like everyone, it's harder to get outside in the winter. There are many barriers, but being in a wheelchair faces a lot of barriers. Obviously, for me specifically, the cold is a huge barrier. I mean, because of my spinal cord injury and not being able to I can be mobile, but I can't move my arms, can't keep myself warm. So I just have to be careful how long I'm outside in the cold. So, as you can see in the middle, we escaped away from winter as much as possible to get somewhere warm, to get a reprieve. But as you can see in these other pictures, I mean, we find other things to do. We are close to the oval. We love doing that in the wintertime because it's quite accessible. I can burn out on the oval and do some 360s and pretend I'm a superstar. We go to the park. We have friends who have dogs. So we go to the parks, Point Pleasant or Shuby or local things. And we just try to make do like everybody else. I mean, if there's 25, 35 centimeters of snow, we know we're not going to get out the next day. But we still try to do as much as we can to enjoy it and stay warm and be safe. And D really helps facilitate that, because for me, I am lucky to have someone to be able to go on those adventures, because I can't do them all independently and safely. So yeah, we try to just do as much as we can locally and get through it like everybody else. But today's the solstice, so it's all uppity up from here.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So tell us, I mean, if you're to look at the old 2021 wish list, what are some of the things that you are trying to knock off this year?
2020. Oh my God, you go ahead there.
Here, one sec. We prematurely ended our PowerPoint. And now the mouse is mouse. The other mouse, sorry. There's two mice. It's really complicated.
A lot of mouses.
Should I just do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard to know what 2021 will bring, but reflecting back on this year, we've never explored our province as much as we did this summer. And I think that was a combination of being cooped up in the spring and really having that energy to explore to the fullest while we could, as well as not saving up or not planning or figuring that out to plan for that winter getaway, I guess, which is typically what we do. So it was really, really fun. We went to Cape Breton for 3 days, 4 days, and this is at Inverness Beach. We went camping one night. That's at the top corner. We hiked the Skyline Trail. We hiked another trail, which was a disaster. So I think
we went glamping.
And we went glamping. Yes, of course. So I think we just want to see what else is out there, like within our little Atlantic bubble, if we're able to. Like we've never been to Kedgie together, or what is it? The one in New Brunswick.
Kedgemakquack.
Coogee-McQuack. We've never been there. So just kind of exploring more parks and opportunities that are out there, I guess.
We'll be staying in the Atlantic bubble for a while, I think.
Yeah, well, I think we all are, but thankfully the Atlantic bubble's got lots of gems.
Oh, we're learning so much as we get more into this hiking and our Instagram and YouTube, and we get comments and suggestions. So we love that people come and give us ideas, because Nova Scotia is so rural and there's so many cool things out there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Now, folks, you're doing amazing things. And it fills me with so much joy to follow along with all the things that you're doing. You got a lot of folks here who are watching. I mean, what are some things that, as a community, we all can do to help one another further what you're doing?
Take this one first.
Do you want to go for it?
All right. Well, I think, a lot of it comes down with like accessibility with respects to recreation. If people can get there, they can make the choice of how adventurous they want to get. But if they can't get there, parking lots might not be accessible. We've had issues with gates being across. Can't get through the gate if you're in a chair because you can't walk around. So just think about design. But the biggest thing is attitude. I keep coming back to attitude. because I've been in the chair for 29 years, and really it's the barrier that's the hardest one to tackle. And once you tackle attitudes and get people on board and see the advantage of it, all the physical stuff it need be or safety stuff can be put in place afterwards. It's 2020. We know how to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
We just need to change barriers, change attitudes.
And I think like one example of this can be like we find there can sometimes be a stigma around hiking that like the more like off the beaten path, the more risky, the more like outlandish the terrain, the more accomplished you are or the more successful you are at hiking. And I think this can sometimes affect like the attitudes around the accessibility of hiking. And just because, you know, you might be able to hike Cape Split, well, you know, we just spent 3 hours in Point Pleasant Park. I think we all have different ideas of what hiking is. And I think that for anyone, any kind of hiking is valid and should be celebrated. And I think too that I know there's a lot of push to keep everything kind of as it is and not take away from the natural beauty in some places, which is a really tough balance. When what if only people who have the physical abilities to even get to those places are the ones that are able to see it. And they're the ones that say, well, it can't be, it needs to be left the way it is. I think that's kind of a barrier that would be really interesting to challenge the way we look at things and the way that things are designed. And I don't think anyone who's looking at accessibility is asking you to like pave, you know, a very intense hiking trail and bulldoze it straight through the mountain, but just these little things that can be done to make things accessible. Just open your mind to how it could really help a lot of people.
Oh, that's beautifully said, Dee. That's really, yeah, and you as well, Kevin. I honestly, guys, thank you so much for being part of tonight and honestly for what you're doing. We are really, again, and Dave said it beautifully at the beginning of this, you know, this is all about community. And, you know, I think, Kevin, you know, you nail it. You know, it's all about attitudes, and accessibility begins here, doesn't it? And thank you so much. So folks, if you have yet to follow along, I highly recommend you check out what Dee and Kevin are doing. We'd love to have you back again.
Well, we got to do a shameless plug. I mean, we have
Hit it.
so our latest video just released where we did a question and answer about many topics from our folks, and we're pretty proud of it. It's for the holiday season, our last video of the year. So we had a really fun year. So check it out at Accessible Adventures on YouTube.
Yeah, you two promised to come back sometime, right, and share more stories.
Anytime, pals. Anytime. Yeah, anytime. We'd love to go hiking with you guys sometimes. You guys might be able to think of some places that we could hang out and go for a drink or something at the end of the hike.
I'm into that, man. Yes.
Sounds good, guys.
Hey,
Keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
See you guys.
That's great.
Can we take over?
Well,
so great.
Wow.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I mean, look, I'll say it again. As long as I've known Dee, she's been a stone cold superstar.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I love that idea around attitudes. And I think we all need a bit of an adjustment there because we're just so used to our own things. It's just switching attitudes to not feel sorry for people and not feel like these things, like just, you know, Kevin's a badass guy. Just, you know, has such a good attitude, no look on life. And I think we could all learn a lot from, you know, the way he lives his life and apply it to our own lives, for sure. But I can't wait to go for an adventure with him. I think he's gonna, you know, I'll definitely go for a beer afterwards too. That sounds great.
Man, absolutely. And I've been hankering to get over to the Oval too, so I'd love to do that.
Right.
Whenever the Oval open. Is the Oval open? Do we know?
January 4th.
Yeah,
January 4th. Okay. It's
Yeah.
a date.
It's a date. We'll book our time. We can all go together. It'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
So before our next presenters, I'm going to share my screen and do a question.
One more.
Yeah, we get two more.
Two more.
Two more.
Right? I think we did another one here.
That's right.
Can you guys see that on the screen? You guys see that?
I can see it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So yeah, another 4-pack from North Brewing. What year was the Cabot Trail completed? So in the comments, write this in the comments. I know you're probably Googling it right now. Fastest Googler wins. Don't Google. Yeah, what year was it completed? I feel like I learned something from this question. I did not know the answer, but yeah, 4-pack from North Brewing for the person who can answer the question.
I don't think
B from Katrina, B from Sam, Johnny.
I was going to say C.
Johnny got it in 1932, right, Dave?
Oh, yes. Okay.
1932 is the answer. Lots of answers coming through, but C is the correct answer.
Melissa Boudreau's here. Hey, Melissa. We got lots of fun people on here. Oh my God. You know, you'll notice too, folks, that the questions have been very Cape Breton heavy. And that is because in the very near future, we're celebrating some of our favorite Cape Bretoners. And Chris and Dave and I, we had a chat, you know, getting ready for this last night. And I then went and I watched in succession all of Dave and Sky's and the whole cruise journey, all 5 episodes, all the episodes I could rather. And it was amazing. Yeah. And I'm telling you, and I'm going to be fully honest with you right now, I felt 11 out of 10 jealousy.
Even when they're
the next presenter's trip?
Like, even when they're suffering, I was like, oh, I wish I was suffering there with them.
It's true, though. It's so true.
The whole time, I was like, ah.
Yeah, Dave, do you want to introduce? I mean, I've seen all 5 of their episodes too. I've been trying to find a way to like talk about my enjoyment of watching it. I want to share. I want more people to watch this. Their amazing adventure. It is very well done, super well edited. By I think
absolutely warms my heart to see the content that these two and their friends have all created around this trip around Northern Cape Breton, and how they dreamed up this isn't even as a smart idea to go do. Just
there's 6 of them together right now.
Are there?
Yeah. So in the comments. Yeah, that's it. Look, I honestly, I'm so proud of the whole of everything coming out of Cape Breton. I just, you know, it's wonderful to see this community that's just like uplifting each other. Yeah, all of it. It just fills me with a lot of joy. So yeah, without further ado, let's bring them on.
Yeah, come on out.
They're coming.
All 6 of them. Probably 4 dogs too, and
this is the Cape Breton way.
2 dogs that I know of. Are there more than 2?
And we do know that they do have Wi-Fi in Cape Breton, right? Like they'll be able to join.
Do they have Purple Cow?
Yeah.
Well, I just let them in about 30 seconds ago, and I'm getting nothing so far. Hopefully they come through here.
They're so busy partying, all 6 of them, that they can't even jump on the call.
Oh man. Oh, videos
Oh.
Connections. How they're there. Yes.
Yay, the audio's connecting.
Well, I just let them in about 30 seconds ago.
There we go. Hi, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Oh, it's so nice to see you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
there we go.
Okay, there we go. You should see our lighting setup right now. It's hilarious.
Well, it looks good. You guys look good.
This is amazing. Yeah. Well, just you guys, here's Dave and Sky and Taylor and Toner and Alec and Johnny. They're all here.
Yeah. Well, good job.
Take it away. Tell us things. Tell us about yourselves. Tell us how you came up with this idea and why you decided it was a smart thing to do.
I don't know if it was ever a smart thing to do.
First of all, thank you so much for having us on for the Night of Adventure, and thank you for choosing us for the grant recipients. And thank you also to all of the people that have talked tonight, because those are awesome adventures to hear about. Seamus, your poem, they didn't hear Seamus's poem before tonight. I was like, oh, you just wait. It's awesome. And Kevin and Dee, always, we love following you guys. We checked out your YouTube channel, and it's super cool to see you traveling around Cape Breton too, our home island. And Beth, your stories as well were amazing. So, yeah. Who wants to tell about the adventure?
So Dave and Sky, you're no strangers. You're no strangers to going camping together. You're no strangers to going on adventures or going off the beaten track. But this trip here that you dreamed up was an ambitious plan. It was, and when we saw the application come in, we looked at it. We're like, wow, is that even possible?
It's
Fun
not.
fact too that we should point out is Dave and I took all the applications and went into Paul's Cove and read them all. So we read your guys' entry while we were in Paul's Cove.
Right, we did.
Oh wow.
That's so amazing.
That's cool.
That warms my heart. That's
Fun
amazing.
facts, yeah, I know.
This was all birthed from a few beers and a nice big map. Like we spent one night, we were supposed to go to the Adventure Network up in Smoky, and I was fresh off of getting frostbite, and we decided to have a little housewarming for you guys because you guys just bought a house.
Yeah.
And we ended up just having a few beers, cracking out the map, and just drawing lines. The rest is kind of history.
I think the quote of the night so far is I was fresh off having frostbite.
I was literally wearing my booties everywhere because I couldn't fit my feet into regular shoes.
Okay. Care to elaborate on where the frostbite came from?
That was from, I went across the Highlands with Lee over from English Shetty Camp, and it was, cold. Snowshoe adventure, yeah, it was very cold.
And you went up White Hill on that, did you not?
We did go up White Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
We hit White Hill. That's I knew the answer to that
Would
one.
it be accurate to say that could be the precise point in which the frostbite took hold?
No, that's actually not true. I do remember when the frostbite happened. But White Hill stands up to the name White Hill because we literally didn't see anything but white when we were up there. There's no view at the top of White Hill. If anybody thinks that White Hill's this amazing view, it's not. It's the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I think Lee reposted a picture from there last week or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't much to see.
It's white.
It's a cool place to be, though.
I look forward to finding out. So have you guys, do you have a slideshow you want to present? Do you want to get going on that and start sharing some of the story with us all?
Yeah.
How do you?
Yeah.
Share.
So how do I do that?
Share screen.
Share screen.
And open up.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And while she's figuring this out, maybe Dave, do you want to share some info about Davey and Sky social medias and YouTube account?
It's just something that we started a couple of years ago where we kind of just like taking photos and started hiking, and it's really taken off, and we just started getting smaller jobs, and it picked up a lot. And then earlier this year, once COVID started, we started making a video on YouTube every day. I wanted to put a video up there every day, just like short ones where we hiked random trails, and it's grown a little bit, and it's just taken off, and we've
Opened up in the background.
picked up a lot of jobs, and now we're kind of doing it full time, and it's just it's been a crazy year for us, crazy year for everybody.
And you guys are based in Cape Breton?
We are, yeah. We live in Waikagama.
And how do you find the community of people up there on the island? Or have they all been very supportive of you? Do you all work together, network together to help create content?
Yeah, everybody's been great, and we've worked with a lot of other people in Cape Breton, and just everybody's all for promoting the island.
Okay.
And Dave, I know you're not Nova Scotian by birth, and you've landed in Cape Breton. How would you describe Cape Breton to the rest of the world?
No pressure.
Be nice.
Everyone's listening.
You chose to move back here with me.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's a special place, and I'm from Scotland originally. Scotland is also beautiful, but I feel at home in Cape Breton, and that's why I moved back here with Skylar.
Aww. So our screen sharing isn't quite working. We might have to leave and rejoin. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a Google, or I could send it to you guys if that would work, and you guys could screen share while we talk, or does that work?
Yeah, it's fine. You can send it to Chris.
If you have Google Slides open, you can just share it with Chris.
Yeah, I can be the puppet behind the screen.
If that's easier. Just 1 second here.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Hey. What's really going on up there?
Maybe in the meantime, I can, while you send that to me, I'm going to share my screen and give away a $50 gift card to the trail shop.
Ooh, right.
Another Breton question.
And listen, UK Bretoners, you don't need to be in Halifax to use this card. You can just use it right on the online.
Yeah, you can use it from anywhere in the world.
Johnny already won.
At least anywhere in Canada, anyway. All right, so here is the fourth. I think this is the last question. I think we've given away two. Yeah, we've given away 2 4-packs to North Brewing and 1 gift card off the top. So this is the last one. Is it sharing there? You see it?
I'm seeing your
desktop and everything.
See it? What are you looking at?
Just see your desktop.
Oh, see, look. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, one more time. This should work. That's why I have to ask, because I have 2 screens.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, sweet.
Whoa.
Excellent. What is the name of the island located approximately 24 kilometers northeast of Cape Breton? And those on the line cannot answer this question. Don't say it out loud.
Oh, yeah. You get a beautiful view of it if you're up there.
Because I'm wondering if the crew in Cape Breton could actually see this island when they were up there. Was it clear enough?
Did you say you could see it in our video?
Yeah, you can. In,
we mentioned in our
video. It's mentioned in our video.
It is mentioned. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Paul Island. Paul's. Technically, it's St. Paul, so I wonder if Ashley McDonald's the winner here. But the person is Sam Caldwell.
That is seems very
I mean,
I don't know. We give.
I got to go with Ashley McDonald on this one.
I think, yeah, full name, right? Like Jeopardy.
Well, if we're going to be real technical, it's actually St. Paul Island. There's no S.
Oh, there's no S.
I when I did my
research
on the question to get the length of how far it was away. Anyway, yes, Ashley would get it then. No, Emma.
Jared said,
who gets it?
Runner-up is definitely the answer of Newfoundland.
All right, so who's getting it then?
Newfoundland.
Dave?
Oh, you're leaving this to me.
Sam says he misspelled it first. That's.
I mean, Sam Caldwell said it first.
Sam, yeah.
Oh, Sam Caldwell.
Nice.
Yeah, Sam gets it. Sam said,
"Hey, Sam."
Yeah, but listen, you got to say 4 prayers tonight for St. Paul. At least 4. And I'll be checking.
Maybe anyway.
If you're naughty.
How you guys doing there? Did you send an email to me or anything, or what's?
I did send an email, yeah. Okay. It should be a Google Doc share.
Excellent. Let's see how
Give us a little background then, as we get into this. You had originally planned this hike to take how long?
10 days.
10 days. And how many kilometers did you estimate that it would be?
Well,
almost 100.
There's no trail to pretty much all of this proposed route that we did. So we didn't know the actual kilometers to guesstimate how far it would take to scale down a mountain or up it. So we guesstimated 100.
Okay. And did you plan on taking 100 kilometers worth of food with you right from the get-go?
Some of us kind of did.
I did.
Yeah.
I took all my food.
Yeah.
Then we had some snacks.
Yeah.
And then we had friends that were so amazing to us and did some food drop-offs to us on the third day.
Yeah, so
Third and sixth.
our bags were really heavy on that
Yeah.
day. Very painful.
Too, right? We got it? There it is.
Hey, there we go.
There it is.
Excellent. This is the photo that I stole for the poster.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was maybe the lowest morale was the whole trip. Like,
Yeah.
That's a really beautiful photo, but we're like holding back tears at this point.
We were
So
broken.
it's by far the worst day of the whole trip.
Why don't you tell us about it? Give us the,
Yeah.
We'll get there. We broke it down.
Yeah.
David.
the
So
rundown.
David did all of the editing for the video. So think of our packs think of your regular hiking, camping pack with all of your camping gear, the food, just all of the extra necessities that you would need for backcountry camping, plus all the camera gear, plus like batteries, the drone, food, like everything. So our packs were huge. And then on this day, we crossed the plateau, which we'll get into more detail. And yeah, we were quite broken.
Oh, Chris is screen sharing. Chris,
Chris is in charge of the button.
Dropping the ball here.
and you just walked away.
Uh-oh.
Now, I got a quick question for you before we go to the next slide. 10 days of all kinds of things. Of the biggest obstacles, are we talking about the ups, the downs, the being hungry? Was it the bugs? Like, what is the thing that stands out as like the most type 2 fun, where like you're in the moment, like this sucks, and now when you look back on it, you're like, oh my God, remember we were eaten alive by like 16 black bears? What was it?
Yeah, I was going to say probably that day, because there were just these trees that, like,
Shrubs?
it took you so long to get through them. Like it was like 1 kilometer per hour is what we were doing through those trees. And I put the drone up for a second just to kind of get an idea of what we were looking at, and it was just all of this like really crappy bush that we had to push through.
What we thought was like an open field too. Like we were looking at our maps and the satellite images, and we were like, oh my God, tomorrow's going to be so easy. It's giant fields. And then we got stuck in the middle of just the worst.
The trees were like just
Intertwined.
yeah, just locked, and we were trying to push ourselves through them with our packs on.
There was nothing you could do. They were pulling you back like every step.
And they weren't little trees either. So like all of our bruises really happened that day too, because it was just our legs were just bruised so badly after that day.
Oh. Now in that, like you're 9 days in, you're hungry and sore and tired. I mean, be honest. Who was like ready to wave the white flag?
We didn't really have the opportunity to.
I'm over this.
Yeah, I wasn't as mentally prepared as the others. Although I only did half the trek. These guys did, so that just goes to show my my mental prowess there. It's not as strong as the others.
Oh dear.
Now, okay, let's get down to kind of some of just the nitty gritty here. So like, where did this start? Try to give us a sense of the direction that you took, and what area ultimately are you covering here? You're just wandering through the wilds of Cape Breton. Where are we?
If Chris would go to the next slide, but he's not there, is he?
Chris is wandering through the wilds of his bathroom.
Okay. So a lot of people are familiar with the northern tip of Cape Breton, Meat Cove area.
Chris.
Oh, he's back. Yeah.
I forgot I had a job.
One too far. Go back one.
What?
Yeah, I went too far.
Oh, when you, yeah.
Is this happening?
Nope.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
There it is.
So you can kind of see Bay St. Lawrence area there. So the Bay St. Lawrence is where we started. And there's some trails that might sound familiar, like Money Point or the Cosman Trail. So we kind of hooked onto those, but all by backcountry trekking. And then we took the Cosman Trail, the road that goes up to that, the Money Point Road.
Yep.
Down, and then we crossed the plateau across the highlands to Pollett's Cove, and then up the proposed Seawall Trail route. So yeah.
Which is on the west side of this picture, the left-hand side.
Yes, yeah. If we had if we were screen sharing, we'd be able to like point it out a bit better. But yeah, that was the proposed route. And in the actual proposal that we did originally for the Night of Adventure, we included walking the road from Meat Cove to the Bay St. Lawrence. We were laughed at a lot for that.
For good reason.
Because we would be walking on the road. We kind of, yeah.
It would be a day.
It would be a day of walking on the road, which
we're open to.
We were definitely open to, but we hurricane was chasing us on our way out. So on our final day, we decided to scrap that road walk to stay safe. But overall, I mean, everything else was what you see on the map there.
I think you made the right call in the moment, and you can always return and go back and walk that section of road if you.
You're not wrong.
If you really want to go back and close the loop, then you can go back anytime and close the loop.
We were thinking maybe we'll drop off some bikes and
bike
it.
Fun. Yeah.
Kayak. It's a really lovely paddle.
Oh
yeah. That's on the list. Kayaking
Noted.
around the island.
Yeah.
Oh, day one.
So yeah, this is day one. I'm not sure.
So the most northern point in Cape Breton is not actually Money Point. It is called what?
It's the North Cape, which is right at the top there, at the end of the line. So we started the Bay of St. Lawrence on the left, and then we followed. There is a trail there, and it leads straight across to the other side, which takes you to Money Point. But before, right at the top, we cut left into the bushes there and just bushwhacked down to the North Cape, which is the very tip of Cape Breton.
Okay.
And if you click the next one.
So that's where we camped.
So the bottom right photo, that's what we came down. And we kind of like screwed up and came out on the very right side of it.
On a cliff.
And in the video, yeah, we're like pushing through.
You can see the screen.
These bushes were just like insanely thick, and we couldn't get through them. But that was a good first day. Like it didn't take that long.
We just missed the rain too. Like it was raining all day until we started. So we were really lucky and really fortunate with that.
And then on the top right, you can see we just like camped on a hill. And I slept on top of Skylar, and Taylor slept on top of Alec.
We also, if you can see the giant picture of the North Cape there, to the left there is where we lost a bottle of Fireball, which we really thought was going to get us through the first half. So we had to add that to our shopping list for the food drop-off.
Mech bags are thumbs down.
They don't build them like they used to.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good question. I mean, so you had a backpack mishap, apparently. Compliments of Mech.
It's funny you say that. 'Cause I have a similar story.
Yeah. I was going to say, Dave Green, you want to add to that? No, okay.
Hey, we've all been there.
I mean, some of this is featured if you watch the videos, but what are some of the major mishaps that sort of happened along the way?
I actually almost lost my hat while we were down there. It almost flew into the ocean, but I managed to run up with my like 50-pound pack in the wind and grab it.
My glasses almost flew into the ocean.
It was very windy.
It was so windy. David's a madman and flew the drone. So the drone looked like it was about to crash, and I'm running after the drone like this, like on the edge of this cliff.
I was like, what is she doing? She's trying to catch it.
So scary. So this is day 2. So we started off at North Cape. We essentially only hiked down there to say we did it.
And then we had to ascend.
It's ready to come right back up the same way that we went down.
It was brutal.
Dangerous.
But yeah. You skip to the next slide. You can see the elevation here. Yeah, so we went straight up.
Oh, boom.
Yeah, the bottom right there, that's going back up. And then on the left there, we're looking at Money Point, where we had to get to.
Okay.
And if you've ever been to Money Point and you like stand in the bottom and you look at those like giant mountains and you're like, oh man, I bet it would be impossible to hike that. it definitely is impossible, and I would never recommend anybody go from where we went across because it's super dangerous.
So a lot of that, it didn't capture a lot of it just because we were like the descent down to that river was just
Dangerous.
like very dangerous. Yeah, we were passing our packs, passing the dog down.
Passing the dog, yeah.
Yeah.
We sent Alec first because he's the smallest of us, so we wouldn't disturb the ground, so we wouldn't cause an avalanche.
When we got to the bottom of the mountain, Indy was wearing a backpack that she was carrying some of her food and water and stuff in. And Taylor and I were beside her, and she just launched her dog backpack off of her into the river and was like, I am done.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing that pack.
She was pissed.
Everybody commented, they were like, oh my God, she's wearing a cute dog bag. And we're like, yeah, that did not last long.
She literally dumped it and then looked at Skylar and I as it went down the river, and we were trying to get it with our poles. And then the water fell out of it.
Yeah.
It was an ordeal. And you guys were like waiting for us. And they were like, what are you guys doing?
Where's Indy?
Indy is at home.
Okay, the hero of the story, not even on the.
I know. We got another dog, a golden retriever. She's just about 1 and she gets really car sick. So we're trying, right now our adventures are very closer to home. We can't take her too far, so we're working on it. And we can't take one dog without the other, so. So yeah, this is right before we got down to Money Point. We found some sheds, which David's holding up there. The whole trip, one of the bigger questions was, did you see any wildlife, any moose, any bears? Lots of signs of animals, of course, everywhere. We've hiked quite a bit around the highlands, and there's always lots of signs of them. However, we've not seen.
We smelled them. We were on top of like 2 bears.
Yeah.
Clearly in like their territory and just never saw them.
Yeah. So then we hiked up the Money Point Road, which if you've hiked Money Point before, you know it's quite a steep trail down the way. Which look up some history on Money Point and St. Paul's Island, right?
St. Paul's,
yeah.
St. Paul's
with no S though. St. Paul Island.
Yeah.
Look up some history on that because it's super interesting. And then we hiked up from Money Point and we found this little
cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
We called it a cul-de-sac.
We didn't realize how close we were to this cliff.
Chris has a book there to show you.
Oh, is that Billy's book?
Check out this book. It's
cool.
memoirs or memories
That by
of
Billy
lighthouse keeper's son.
Yeah.
So this is I just started reading it actually. I've read like 1 chapter of it. It's super fascinating, but it's all about the journey of this guy's family to St. Paul's Island, and they lived on the island.
That's Bailey's.
You said many years.
I've met him. I've had like an extensive conversation with Billy.
Alex met him before.
Did you?
Yes, I have. He's my friend's. Actually, on day 3, the person who resupplied our food, it's her neighbor in Ingonish.
Come on.
And he gave me a good spiel because I was kind of like looking to make a hike in St. Paul Island. So he was telling me all about his book, and he's supposed to have another book coming out very shortly, I believe.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to read it. Looks super interesting.
So yeah, you can see here our campsite for day 2. We had it was a brutal climb up there. We found a river on the way up, and David ended up carrying like two like pails of water because we knew that we weren't going to get any water that night.
That's where we found the money cane.
The money cane, yeah. If you watch the videos, you'll know what the money cane is.
We didn't really cover it, but that's where we found it. It's just a piece of pipe, and then I decided to carry it the rest of the trip.
And a few of the boys drank beers out of
it.
It's funny because watching the videos, I was like, did they ever talk about why?
It's actually at your guys' house now.
Why?
Yeah, it's on the wall in the
Under
garage.
the bed.
Came in handy, I know that.
Yeah, seriously.
Definitely.
He used it to smash keys a lot to clear a path for us.
Don't recommend anybody drinks beer right at that.
Yeah. Alec drank the first beer, and I'm pretty sure he swallowed like 2 pounds of dirt.
God knows how long we were sitting there.
This is day 3. On the next one, you'll see the satellite dish that we found just like kind of beside our campsite, on the top left there.
UFO.
And
probably a UFO.
This, like, in the middle of the woods, there's nothing else there. and it's just this like a dish. It's
Huge,
unbelievable that we
dude.
found it.
I could tell how freaked out you guys were about this. Did you find out any information since the trip?
No,
No.
a lot of questions about it. But we haven't found any other information.
So weird.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like it was quite close to where we were camping, so like very possible there was a
There's like an access road,
tower. Yeah, there's an access road, so there was probably a tower there someday.
but there's trees growing all around it.
Yeah, but that's been there for a long time.
Could have been part of the NORAD or the pine tree line,
I
or like
thought it was
early
part of the
detection
NORAD,
missile
and I checked,
system.
but it was not.
Was not part of the
It
NORAD.
wasn't part of NORAD. No.
No.
And then on the right there, that's looking down or across a Cosman Trail. So we had to descend down and then up it. So if you look at the bottom left is like, we took a break there, and it was probably the best break of the trip.
If there's like highlights to certain days, I would definitely say that bottom left photo sums up a highlight of that day. If you've done Cosman before, it's a great like 20-minute trail. We've done it with David's parents. David's mom is watching. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Eddie. We did it with her and Eddie before, and like it's not that difficult to do, but it's very steep. So if anybody's familiar with it, we hiked up it
From the very bottom.
From the bottom, yeah.
In making the proposal for the Night of Adventure grant, that was definitely, I wonder if we can type of thing, which was really fun to challenge ourselves with.
And it was definitely one of the steeper climbs that we've done.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we were riding the high once we got up to the top.
At that point, we were just obsessed with a jar of pickles.
Yeah. We were so ready for our food resupply where we knew we had a jar of pickles.
Yeah.
To consume.
There we go. Jar of pickles.
Whose idea was it to bring the jar of the pickles in the first place?
Alec. Yeah.
Pickles are the optimal hiking snack. right next to hummus, I would say.
Yeah.
But pickles are the way to go.
As you can see, we not only ate every single pickle in there, but we drank all of the pickle juice.
Amazing. Alec, I want to go hiking with you, man. I'm down with the
Every calorie
Everyone
counts.
hating pickles right now is like, I'm out.
And we are the same people who drink the water out of the tuna cans, and the same people who drink the water out of the boiled potato pot, and the same people who drink the water out of the boiled noodle pot.
Noodle tea.
Oh, that's some good stuff. Noodle tea. But we ended up, so at this food resupply, she also ended up bringing us a bunch of booze. And, we just did a bunch of stuff where we almost died. And we were just like, we slammed every drink that she had, and we had to walk on the road for like 10 kilometers. So it was definitely like a little wobbly to get across to our campsite, which you can see now.
Also,
which we lucked out on.
Shout out, I know this video is sponsored with North Brewing, but also shout out to Cape Breton Islands Cidery.
Oh.
Island Folk Cider. I don't know if you can see that. But they sent us a lot of cider for the trip, so we were feeling pretty good.
You can't dehydrate that, can you?
Oh man, our food was so bad the whole time though. The food resupplies were so good because our food was so bad. Every meal. We brought a jar or a bottle of Tabasco sauce just to try to make everything taste better.
So that's our campsite there. So to give it perspective, that descent, like that mountain in the very far back of that photo, that's the North Cape that we hiked up and descended on day one. So that's how steep that is. And again, when making this proposal, these first few days were the biggest thing that we didn't know what we would be facing. Hiking on the west coast of the island is something that we've already done, so we felt pretty good in leaving that to the second half of the trip, whereas the first half of the trip was definitely a lot of unknown. But yeah, we found a random bog in the middle of nowhere. It's Cape St. Lawrence in the background there.
You click to the next, you'll see.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did you drink out of the water?
Alec took one for the team.
Absolutely, we did. And
However,
Wouldn't recommend it. We cooked with it.
there was a river like 500 meters from camp, and Dave and Alec both didn't think it existed. So there was a lot of debate, and Skylar and I just watched in horror as Alec just stripped down to get into the water to pour out this like black bog sludge that we then had to filter and boil to try to make food out of.
Taylor and I already had our booties on. We were like,
there's no way.
We were ready to just call it an evening. We were like, no, that's fine. But yeah, had to get bog water.
Yeah, this looked pretty gross. I'm not gonna lie. When I was watching this,
it was therapeutic.
Yeah, he baked it off.
It was very nice for my feet. It was, I don't know. I wasn't expecting that. But don't forget that if you watch our videos, not just did I go knee deep in the mud, the pot was also attached to like an 8-foot pole, which I like carefully scooped the water out of, which we then filtered and then boiled, and then it still tasted like bog water. So
what can you do?
What can you do?
We could have went to the river, is all I'm saying. We were right next to a river.
And hopefully all of this rambling kind of gives people inspiration to check out the videos, because they definitely explain all of these situations a bit better.
So this is day 4, probably like the best day of the trip.
Yeah, the most peaceful.
Best day of my life.
Yeah, one of the easily
best day of my life. This is the most clear-minded I have ever been. 100%.
So it was just all
after you drank the cider.
We had the cider every day. So
this day was just all upriver. The whole day we just it must have been like 6 hours of hiking upriver.
Put on water shoes and just went right up, which was such a nice break for our feet to have them in something other than our like shoes, and have them in cold water. I found like made my like body feel really good, because at this point we've been climbing mountains for days and drinking. We drank heavily on day 3, so it was actually really therapeutic to just like, we were all really spaced out, and it gave us a lot of time to just kind of sit with kind of what we were doing. And it really, we knew that the next 2 days were our most middle of nowhere kind of big question marks as far as like navigation goes. Like we really didn't know what the terrain was going to be like. At least with some of the mountains and stuff, we kind of understood that we had to climb mountains, but we didn't really know what mental task was going to hit us next. So this day was really internal, I would say, if anything.
That's Indy.
Yeah, there she is.
And on the bottom right there, right in the middle is where we had our campsite.
So nice. Yeah. Our campsite was at the meeting of the Salmon River and Lockhart Brook. And this was a night that we experienced like complete pitch black darkness. Like we were in so deep into the woods, like nothing was, we were near nothing, right? Like I remember opening my eyes in the tent and not being able to see my hand in front of my face. It was so dark. And we ended up sleeping, I think we like slept in that. We slept like 12 hours this day.
Yeah.
10 hours.
Yeah,
10 solid
easily.
hours. Yeah.
Oh, when camping with Alec, because we didn't really know Alec very well before this trip, because that's what David and I like to do. We like to meet people and go on big trips with them, apparently. Alec wakes us up every morning with, good morning, good morning.
Every morning.
Every morning.
That's a Viagra theme song?
Yes.
Well, you know how everybody hates to like get out of their sleeping bag when they're nice and warm and it's kind of nippy out. By the time I'm done the song, that is my cue to be like, you no longer have any time to sleep in. You must get up and you must go on with your life.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, every morning.
They know it.
Yeah. So
Great way to get to know somebody, though. Invite them on a long trip.
This is day 5, and this is, you know, if you have an opportunity to do a trip like this, find a different route. Do not take this route. I repeat, just do not take, like, lose this image of this map out of your head right now, because I can strongly, like, not recommend this route. This was by far the hardest day of the whole trip, even though one of the other days was like 14 hours. This was by far like 10 times worse than that day.
That beautiful photo that you saw at the start, though,
Is from this day.
is from this day.
Yeah.
This is how you learn, right? With no information, how were you supposed to know any better?
We have photos right here from the beginning and the end of this day.
Not the middle.
The middle portion of that day for like we were making like a kilometer per hour, which is
If
like
that.
the slowest I've ever hiked.
But at the beginning of the day, we walked through 2 fields. We ascended a mountain. We walked through 2 fields. We were doing 3K an hour, which is like pretty quick. But in total, we hiked 13.5 kilometers in 10 and a half hours. So to give that some perspective, like we slowed right down in the middle of this.
And to be clear, we did not stop for lunch.
We didn't stop for anything.
We stopped 5 times for about 5-10 minutes.
And to take those pictures, because when we finally saw the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the bottom right there is like.
Someone actually messaged us after this trip. So like on our Instagram, I also did a bunch of stories. It's like in the Instagram highlight stories that kind of shows like a first person. Check out the YouTube videos too. But somebody messaged us asking, what is bushwhacking? I was like, how do you describe that? You're just hiking through trees and through bushes, pushing yourself.
This day was bushwhacking.
Yeah.
We really, like, that's what we were saying earlier too, is we thought that it was going to be green fields. And we started the day going through 2 beautiful fields. Oh, no. And then we never saw like a blade of grass again for like 8 hours.
If this day was a lesson for me, I would have to say that topographical maps are phenomenal. However, that being said, sometimes you're going to think that it's a nice grassy, flat field, and incorrect. It is bush, and you're going to hate your life for like 8 hours, maybe 10 hours.
We really thought that we would eventually find a field. So when we found a small break, like what we were saying earlier, Dave put the drone up, and we thought that like the drone was going to go up and we were going to see that we're like 100 meters from a beautiful lush field that the moose graze in and the bears run through. And we thought we were going to do the same thing. Dave put up the drone and there was a circle of grass where we were standing, and 5 kilometers in every direction were these shitty little trees that we could not for the life of us push through. And then we had to for like the rest of the day. That's when we knew that we messed up. We were way too confident going into day 5.
That's also when we were basically chasing a bear.
Yeah, we were on top of a bear that time. Yeah,
we could smell him.
Fresh scat everywhere. Like
that was probably one of our more closer. We had 2 closer encounters. We almost ran into the moose once, and we almost ran into the bear once, but we never saw them.
In this route finding and bushwhacking, how often did you actually use a compass?
0. We used GPS, really. Yeah, maps.
We had a compass, like we're good, but no.
We knew what direction we had to head in at this point, and we knew that it was all the plateau and it was flat.
So does the topography of the land basically dictate where you can and cannot travel? Like a compass isn't necessary if you're following the map properly?
Correct. So at one point, like, it was actually more efficient to like walk probably an extra 2 kilometers around this bush that we had found.
Yeah.
And like kind of skirt the tree line than to just walk through this bush. So there was like several points of the day where I looked at Dave and I was like, we're just gonna walk around. Like there's no way
Unfortunately,
I can keep going this way.
Wherever the trees and the bush weren't, everywhere else was like a bog marshland. So like it was kind of pick your poison at this point. But also while we were out there in the middle of nowhere in the most harsh terrain, we found like suggestions that humans were there. Like we found a trail marker, but like just tied onto a tree and a bucket and a tire.
Yeah.
Literally in the most like middle of nowhere we have been the whole trip. And we found that.
And then we made it to Let's Go.
Yeah.
Where we knew our friends were meeting us and they brought food. And that's also where Johnny and Toner joined the tales. But yeah, we had tacos.
Oh man.
And this is our off day, day 6.
The greatest day ever.
The bottom right photo there is us doing laundry.
So we filled our waterproof bags with like these laundry leaves and then rocks and our clothes and water. And we rolled them down the hill as like an agitator to try to clean all of our clothes.
We drank a lot of whiskey.
We drank a lot of whiskey this day.
We showered. We showered.
We showered
that
in the
day.
river.
We bathed.
We bathed, I guess. Yeah. That was a great day.
It was. But then
So I had no intention of coming on this trip at all. Like, I was part of the food resupply when we came into Pollitt's Cove, and I packed for like a one-nighter, but something compelled me to actually bring a full slate of gear. So Jan, you mentioned at the start you were 11 out of 10 jealous of the suffering that they were going to be going through. And I felt that when I got to Pollitt's Cove, and I was like, oh damn, like I think I got to figure this out. And then Taylor has this way, like as soon as there's like a hint of possibility that you're about to join a plan, he smells the blood in the water, and then there's no giving up. So he's like, man, you can do it. Like
I was like, I have extra food. I have extra food that you brought in for me.
I
will give it to you.
We had like a full cornucopia of food. Like there was so much food we could have taken 2 more people, and we still had to send them back with stuff. But the only problem was I worked 2 days that week. I had Monday, which was the next day off. But Tuesday, Wednesday, I was scheduled. And of course, when you're in Pollitt's Cove, you don't have cell service. So I couldn't figure that out in that moment. So the decision was worst case scenario, I have Monday to hike out by myself, get out of Pollitt's Cove and, stay the night and go out on Monday. But there was rumor that there might be cell service at the top of Bald Mountain. So
the first mountain we have to climb the next day.
So I decided to join the next leg. Yeah, so this part here. And right near where that picture was taken, we had like a glimpse of cell service, like 1 bar. And calls kept getting dropped. And I had to somehow break the news to 2 of my colleagues to say like, hey, I've got this really wonderful chance to do Seawall, and like, I'll owe you 1,000 if you can work Wednesday for me. And the call went through and it worked out. So I joined the rest of the leg.
This is also where Johnny joined us, and we also had to do some convincing for him to join us.
So I'm going to rewind just a little bit. That's how Brandon Toner joined the Seawall 6, and I'm just going to give you a little brief explanation on how I joined the Seawall 6. So prior to their 10-day trek, Taylor came home to Cape Breton. So I figured this is a good opportunity to catch up with him. So we went to Boston Pizza to have a couple of adult beverages there. And anyway, I knew about the 10-day trek that he was going on, but unfortunately I wasn't able to join them. Not that I have much backcountry experience, but Taylor knew how much I wanted to do Seawall. And this was my one opportunity to do it. So again, as Brandon mentioned, Taylor could smell blood in the water at this point. So Taylor just asked, why don't you just take a few days off of work and join us for the Seawall portion? So, I was all for it. The only thing was I was scheduled to do LASIK eye surgery on that Thursday. This was a procedure I was waiting for several months at this point. So anyway, at the beginning of the night, I was adamant that no, I couldn't do it. But
couple Thunderbolts.
Yeah, couple of adult beverages later, my decision making is not so good. And like I said, Taylor could smell blood in the water, so it was probably around midnight at that point where I canceled my LASIK eye surgery. And I committed to join them on Seawall. So with that being said, I was part of the food resupply to meet them in Pollitt's that Friday. So I
love how you remember the days of the week, because looking back, I'm like,
ingrained.
what day of the week was it?
Hey, my parents still don't let me forget. So I have yet to get LASIK eye surgery.
Next question.
Yeah, so
we gained a few members.
Yeah, exactly. That's
what
it.
will you remember more in 10 years from now? The LASIK eye surgery or walking the Seawall Trail?
That's exactly it. Dave smells blood in the water.
Yeah, you're right. Dave, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, spontaneity runs deep in our playbook.
Best decision I've ever made. So I'll let them carry on with the rest of the story there.
I just remember how stoked Johnny was that he didn't have to sleep alone once Toner was able to come with us.
Like I said before, I didn't have much backcountry experience, so having a sixth member join us, so I could tent with somebody else, that meant a lot to me, just for my psychological health.
We cuddled.
We were able to debrief every night after all that bushwhacking and suffering, so it was good.
And like, keep in mind too, we were already 5 days deep in, like, the first 4 of us and Indy. We're already 5 days deep into this, so our minds are already in it. Johnny walks up with a white jacket, mesh, everything packed on the outside of his bag. This little tiny tent.
Container of pork. In a container of pork.
The flashlight gun.
Johnny showed up to camp and we dumped out all the stuff that he had in his pack and made fun of him for everything he brought with him.
In a nice way.
Including a laser gun flashlight.
Which we could have used, but we'll elaborate on that more further.
Yeah. So that's us hiking up to the top of Bald Mountain. There's lots of sheds up there too. And then that day wasn't too difficult.
It was a nice day.
Yeah, we had to get them into the whole bushwhacking mindset, so we didn't do too much. We hiked over to
Delaney's Point.
Yeah, Delaney's Point. Well, that's what it says on the map. But there's a river there, but it's not on the map, and it's kind of like one of our favorite spots. So we stopped there on the first seawall. And then it rained, it hailed, and then there was a double rainbow, and then an amazing sunset,
and
all at once.
and a water spout. Out on the water.
It all happened at
Like
once.
we thought, yeah, everything was crazy.
We were so confused. And the boys being their first night at camp, the rookies come out with us, and they decide to camp like 800 meters from camp over like a hole where a bear was clearly digging. And they both thought that you thought that you heard it in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah, I did.
It made for a good story though, so no regrets.
And then, so day 8 is when we hiked 2 days worth in one day. So day 8, we weren't supposed to hike this far. We were supposed to, about halfway through this day, we were supposed to stop. But on a mountain, we got service and we found out that Hurricane Teddy, if anybody remembers Hurricane Teddy back in September, was pushing in. And kind of the scare of the hurricane from last year was definitely still there. So when you hear a big hurricane is coming in, that it's supposed to supposedly make landfall on Cape Breton, you get really worried, especially where we were in the middle of nowhere. So this was the day that we sucked it up and we hiked and we just didn't stop hiking.
Our mantra was, I'm going to walk until I can walk no longer.
To be clear,
And that we did.
we said that I made that joke, a joke, prior to getting service, knowing we were going to hike 20 kilometers that day. So I think we jinxed ourselves.
100%.
But it's in the past, I guess.
So we basically did seawall all in one really long day.
Yeah.
We did a small portion of seawall the day before, but then we just did all of it in one go. Oh man.
So keep in mind, this is an area that we've already done before, so it wasn't too difficult. Like, it was places that we were familiar with. We knew roughly where we should go up and come down from. They have a funny story they're waiting to tell you. But yeah, this day was also, the whole idea with the trip was, we had amazing weather on this day too. Like, look at those photos. So we've been to this point, we call it Seawall Mountain 3 times now. David and I did it in November 2 years ago, and it was snowing. It was the scariest we're gonna die experience of my life to date. I remember crying, thinking that we were gonna die because we had to climb down this rock face in the snow. And I remember rolling, it was terrifying. And then the second time we did it was with Taylor and a different crew of Seawall. We have those videos on YouTube too. And our weather was really windy and crappy that day. So we had amazing weather this time around. And our whole idea for the trip was less kilometers so that we could capture it to all of its glory. Yeah.
4 kilometers.
So when we got to the top, if you go back one, so Toner, no, I thought he had it in his hand. He did have a walking pole.
Johnny's.
That was Johnny's. They were sharing walking poles. Do you want to tell me what you did with the walking pole?
Do you want to tell it or me?
Yeah, the rookies.
Go ahead, Johnny.
So you can probably tell when I'm going to tell the story, there's a little bit of bitterness in my voice here. So as we mentioned previously, Toner had no idea that he was going to embark on this seawall journey. Meanwhile, I had every intention, so I brought 2 walking poles. So anyway, when I found out that Toner was going to join us, I did the nice thing and I offered him one of my hiking poles, as I'm sure anybody would do. So anyway, we made it this far. We climbed seawall, and as we were proceeding with the rest of our hike to escape Hurricane Teddy, was it you dropped your bag or you dropped your pole?
He put his pole down.
Yeah, so
I'll let him tell it.
You're going along, and you get hungry. You want to grab some trail mix, so you set your bag down and you have a little snack. You get something out of the bag, and then you continue on a little longer, and you're like, oh shit, I think I had a walking pole. So then I sat my bag down to go see if I could find the walking pole, and I was a couple of paces back because I grabbed my trail mix. And then I go back to find the walking pole. I'm like, oh, damn, there's no path. Of course there's no path. So I don't know where that walking pole is. Then I go back to find the bag. I've got a green mech pack. And I'm like,
my hiking
bag.
He lost Johnny's pole and his pack.
We were all ahead, and that's all.
So they're like 5 minutes ahead. I'm like running around in circles trying to cover as much ground as I can in the middle of this mysterious forest to find both my bag and Johnny's walking stick. Find neither, eventually find my bag, but not the pole.
Yeah, so exactly what Toner said there. I'm immediately behind David because I want to show the others that I belong. I'm not the odd one out.
The rookies.
The rookies. So I noticed that Toner was falling behind, so I just decided I was trying to yell his name there, figure out where he was and what he was doing. And anyway, first we started looking for my pole that I lent to him. No luck, so he put his bag down, and then soon after we were looking for his bag. So anyway, it was
and we're all sitting there like 500 meters ahead, being like, where are they?
To be clear, I had 8 cigarettes.
While we were waiting. Yeah. It took a long time.
It was a while. It was a nice break for us, I suppose. But
yeah.
So then we climbed down this big mountain and we find a bunch of amazing waterfalls at the bottom of this mountain. So, I mean, the pictures from the last slide and this slide, there's hours in between. We were really trying to make ground because in our minds, we were going to hike out on this day. We were fired up, but it's also around this time that we started all lose our minds. You'll see in the videos that we get a little bit loopy. We climb down this, we call Shit Mountain for a lot. We've climbed up it twice now. Definitely recommend going down the back of it like we did this trip because
Don't climb the front of it.
we have climbed up the front of it before and it's terrifying.
And then we decided that, the sun went down and it started to get dark and we had a whole river to hike.
Yeah, so if you go back for a sec, this photo, we were actually way up on the top left, so we didn't even see the sunset. And by the time we got to the bottom here, at the bottom left, at the end of the river, it was dark, like pitch black.
So we navigated a river with our headlamps on, like for 2 hours maybe, just knowing that we had so much more ahead of us to try to get out before we got hit by the hurricane.
Looking back though, this is all of one of our favorite part of the trip though.
This was a positive thing.
Like
that works.
It was very fun.
That was my favorite moment for sure.
Like I said, like we started to lose our minds. We knew we had to get out.
We accepted it.
We just accepted it. We put our headlights on. We were supporting each other. Like Taylor helped me almost fall in the river a few times. Like we kind of buddy system. Indy was loving it. Indy loves rivers, so she was just.
It's interesting, Skylar. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I wanted to ask you, Skylar, from your perspective. I know you have these big, strong men around you through the hike, and Jan, I know you know from experience guiding and taking groups of people out into the woods that we have a saying that says the group can only travel as fast as the slowest person. But that doesn't mean that the slowest person is the weakest person by any means at all. They have a very different perspective when you're the last person in the group walking down a trail or paddling down a river. I've actually earned a nickname from various trips over the years as laid back, way back Dave. The last person to come down the river. I was curious, Skylar, from your perspective, did these guys, did they hang out? Like, did you spend a lot of time alone? Like, did you get to think about a lot of things? Like, did they hang back and help you out? Like, was the camaraderie there? Were you very much a team traveling together through these sections, especially traveling like into nighttime with the headlamps on and
I would
things were a
definitely,
bit tense, I'm sure.
yeah, I would definitely say we were definitely all a team. Taylor says it best, hike your own hike. And if everybody's in the mindset of we're hiking our own hike and we're all just doing our best and there's just positivity flying back and forth. I mean, sometimes I wasn't always the last, but I was definitely quite often the last in the back there. A harder point probably would be going across that plateau. Pushing through those little trees, it's hard to explain. We say like they're entangled and it was difficult and we did 1 kilometer an hour, but like being smaller body framed with a big pack, trying to push my body weight definitely was difficult for me. So that was a tough day where I was in my mind a lot. Made sure my phone was charged. I played some music. Like they were never far, mind you, but sometimes to just have that backup to know that you might be in your mind a little bit and be okay with it. I always try to say like, oh no, I didn't think of what conversations I'm going to have with myself this trip, because you have so many conversations with yourself. You're so like talking to yourself, you're telling yourself stories sometimes, because as much as you want to be talking with your pals all the time, it takes a lot of energy too. But yeah, no, we were definitely in tune, I would say, to what each other were feeling.
Especially this day, I think in particular, which makes it better than the 5th day where we had to push through all those trees, where this was more of a technical day and a much longer day. I think the camaraderie was there because we were already at like a week into the woods, right?
Yeah, even when we got to the bottom of the river, we still had probably 3 or 4 hours of bushwhacking
4
across
hours in the dark.
In the dark, only by headlamps. And like this was on our like 11 to 14 hours of the day, and we thought we were still going to go all the way out because at that point the hurricane was going to hit Cape Breton directly, and it was still a category rating. So it was really just we laughed the whole time.
Yeah, it was a team effort. By all means, nobody was in this for themselves, know what I mean? So you had to make it out as a group. There was no other option. So it really didn't matter whether you were leading or you were behind. We were just moving as one unit.
Especially once it became dark and we were bushwhacking in the dark, we were still joking around quite a bit. Alec and I were actually in the back the whole last day because we lost our minds at like 11 a.m. And I don't think I said anything that wasn't ridiculous from that point until we got to camp at like 12 at night.
I kind of floated between Alec and Taylor that were like loopy.
Yeah.
And then being with Dave. So when people see David and I hiking in a group, David and I are never hiking together in a group. David is always at the front, like taking charge. He's just amazing at it, leading the direction where we're going. And then I'm kind of like usually at the back there. But we're totally happy with that system.
There was one point though where we were in the middle of the dark, at least like 3 hours in at this point, and like what we were looking at on the map just kept like not making sense to us, and we were trying to go somewhere, and we were all kind of openly talking about how we all wanted to go different directions. And there was a point where Dave looks at all of us and goes, "You can check your map, it's this way." And then he turns and just walks away. And we were like, all right, we're following that man. We're going to follow that guy as far as we can.
David's not a sassy person. There was so much attitude.
Love a powerful man.
So much respect in that moment.
This is us on the very last day. So our big 10-day trip obviously got cut down to 9. We hiked on the 8th day as far as Lowland Cove. Another great trail. It's an actual trail in Cape Breton if you've never checked it out. And this is us stretching before the hike out. Wasn't too difficult of a day. You could definitely, it was an eerie thing to wake up to. Lowland Cove and around Mead Cove area is always very windy. We woke up, no wind. It was just spooky
Yeah.
waking up and knowing.
And the tide was out, like, tide was down like
Yeah.
5 feet. Like, it was insane. You could definitely feel that a storm was coming.
We made camp the night before at what time? Midnight?
11:30
midnight.
About midnight. So we really hiked
14 hours.
2
14 and a
days
half,
worth
yeah.
into one day. So when we say we did a big 10-day hike, we technically did.
10 days worth of distance.
We just did it in 9.
Yeah.
And then we hiked out.
We ended up at the Highland Hostel where Bryson made us moose meat spaghetti.
And edibles.
And edibles, yeah. And we had like 100 Olins that night.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, it was very cool though to go from like, we were worried that we were gonna have to be out there for the storm at one point, but we climbed the bell tower. So if you've ever been to the Highlands Hostel, it's an old church. And we ended up in the very top of the bell tower where it's like 4 big windows. And we sat there and drank beers and we're in the storm. So it was still kind of like being in a tent, but we were in the safety of the Highlands Hostel. And it was just like the best feeling we could have ever imagined after the day that we spent in the dark hiking through the night.
Big plug for Highlands Hostel too, because they're open all winter.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, Bryson's a legend. They're all legends there.
We messaged them. We had service and messaged them that we might come out the day before at like 4 a.m. And Bryson had the basement ready for us, like 4 a.m. in the morning, which is insane.
So now listen, team, this has been an enlightenment in every sense of the word. I think if you guys to lift a great quote that if you were to start a band, you might call yourself the Shitty Little Trees. That really rings true for me. I've hiked through there for not in its entirety like you guys have, but I know what you're talking about. Those tight spruce trees,
yeah,
asshole trees. I get you.
You're sweating like and dying the whole time.
Yeah. Now listen, I mean, before we let you go, this has been really great. And I think you all as being Cape Bretoners, and again, like for us watching just the community rising to the occasion of just making Cape Breton a world-class destination. I mean, we're proposing the Seawall Trail. I mean, you guys are amped to hike it. Now we want to see people come from around the world to do it. Having lived this experience, what would you say to somebody who's eager to go and do it in the future?
You could do it in 2 days. you could do the Seawall Trail in 2 days if you really wanted to.
But
you could do it.
Or are you saying it's easy?
No.
No.
It's just because we did it in 2 days. Personally, I wouldn't recommend that route for people that are not experienced hikers until the actual trail is built. It's not a trail. So
grit is more important than physical fitness.
Definitely. You can do a lot with grit. Like as long as you're comfortable
you
being
guys have proven, right? The fact that you guys were able to come together, that there wasn't a major dictatorship or any kind of revolution that needed to happen along the way where that dictatorship was overthrown, is also a sign that you guys must have been having a pretty fun time.
Yeah, I mean, and it's going to be world class. Like once that trail is actually developed and it gets a little bit easier and there's a little bit less bushwhacking and no hurricanes and hangups that way, like it's going to be amazing. And I can't wait for other people to experience that trail. Honestly, like the parts around Seawall Mountain where David had the drone up, and it's an incredible experience. And it's coastal, it's Cape Breton, and it's undeveloped, and not many people have seen it yet. So it's a really special part of the island, and I think it's going to be cool to share it with the world.
Well, listen, I mean this. Like, I don't want to hear any more about your adventures. I lived too much jealousy last night when I watched. But honestly, well done. I mean, the videos are really fantastic. If folks have not seen them, they should check them out. And we're just so pumped to see what comes next. This time you got to do the whole thing, but doing handstands or something. I don't know. To go down.
Backwards.
Biggest thing too, and like why we love applying for the grant is just this is a year of all years. Explore your own backyard. We saw new sites in the Highlands that we've never saw before, and it's totally possible to always discover something new close to home. So push yourself, and yeah.
Yeah, you're capable of a lot more than you think you are. So definitely go out and explore it.
Find your own shitty little tree.
Yeah. Become a wild dog.
Become a wild dog.
Well, thank you so much, team. It is a pleasure to see your faces once more, and I hope that we all can, go just wander through the woods together sometime.
Absolutely.
Yeah, come
Come on up.
Come to Cape Breton.
Fingers crossed. We're hoping to come up in the winter time, and Dave will be there soon, wandering through the woods.
Northern Scavengers and Canopy Creative. We'll be there next week.
Nice.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
We'll take you to White Hill.
Yeah, they're still out there wandering.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for coming in and sharing your
Thank
story
you
with
so
us
much.
tonight. Really appreciate it. And
Without
we'll
you guys,
make
we wouldn't have been
vlogs
able to do this.
for who you are.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, without you guys, we wouldn't have been able to do this. Like Taylor said, helped us a lot. And message us if you have any questions. Watch the videos; they might make more sense than our rambling.
Yeah, the videos are amazing. You guys did a really good job on capturing everything, and I love that you just went for it. I wouldn't say any of you are crazy experienced, in that type of environment, but that's how you learn, right? I mean, that's why the videos are so relatable. I think people will learn a lot from them, but also you did a great job capturing how beautiful, that part of the world is. It's stunning, and good job on going for it. Good job on doing it, and thank you for talking to us and sharing your wicked stories. And you could tell you guys had a lot of fun, which was my favorite part of watching the videos.
Yeah.
So good.
Hopefully, we can all do this again in person someday.
Love it.
Yes, let's do it.
Awesome. Happy holidays, guys.
Yeah, you too, guys. Thank you very much.
Bye, everybody.
See you guys.
That was an action-packed evening.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Every single person who presented tonight embodied the spirit of Night of Adventure.
I'm tired after listening to this.
Yes, I'm also very tired.
No, I'm tired. I'm just like, all of this awesomeness. A lot to handle.
Well, thanks very much. I think for all the prizes, I'm gonna try to remember them all, but maybe I'm just gonna put my email in here.
Yeah, we'll find them. Yeah, we'll get them.
And send me an email or write me a message. You can track me. You can track us down. But we'll get. They're all codes. Like the gift cards are codes, and the North Brewing stuff. As long as you live in Halifax, Dartmouth area, you can go pick it up, or you can add it on to a delivery or something like that. But you can go pick out your own 4-packs. So thanks for North Brewing, and thanks to the Trail Shop. Thank you to Dave for all your hard work in making all these happen. And yeah, I mean, we have so much things to share. I want to talk about, but maybe we could.
I know, we could be here all night.
We could be here all night. There's a lot of really exciting things coming for Night of Adventure in the near future. We got prospects for a adventure race for 2021. We got prospects for an Atlantic Canada Film Festival for 2022. We have at least 4 more events for this season as we run right through till April. So there'll be 4 more Night of Adventures before spring comes and gets us, and the daylight hours are so long that we're all outside playing, making more stories for the next season.
Yeah.
Right. So tune in there. Go check out our new website, nightofadventure.com. Go follow all of our friends that you met tonight. Accessible Adventures, North Preston Surf School, Davey and Sky, Alexei from McKinnon Kayaking Tours. They're all out there. We'll find a link. We'll share it all with you. I can't thank you all enough for coming out and joining in, building this community, sharing the stories. Storytelling is one of the oldest arts that humankind has. And this is the heart of it all, to be passionate and to be sincere and genuine with our storytelling. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dave. Thank you to everybody. Also, Caperboy Outdoors, Seamus, Caperboy Outdoors, his YouTube channel.
That guy wins.
That's my homework for tonight.
I promise him, I'm going to check it out right this second.
That was awesome. It was awesome to hear his family adventure up with Live Life Intense and with Lee. I know they had a good time up there. So Yeah, thanks again. Keep your eye open for the next event, and check out nightofadventure.com, and also, more importantly, I suppose, the adventure grant. If you do want to make a contribution, usually we do pass around a bucket. This is our virtual dirty camp bucket that we're passing around. If you want to throw in a couple bucks to the Night of Adventure grant, you can see where the money went to on a night like tonight. Super grateful to hear all those stories, and thanks for everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and have yourselves a lovely evening. Happy holidays, all that good stuff. Stay safe out there. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.